Hi, Jody.
And you know. Benji, come here. 7 seconds.
Well,
Don't trip on that.
Now we're
less than that.
Now we're
Hey.
we are live. Hi.
Hello.
Going.
We at the outdoors.
Yeah. So
think we're allowed to keep on
you
speaking.
guys are out out in the wilderness, I guess. Yeah.
That's right. We're out in the wilderness.
Show us what you got there.
Well, this is pretty cool. Again, we are out in the wilderness, no location at all, just cool. And we have, I'll show you take the phone up.
How are we gonna get the stakes out?
Just the best view. And this place, I've been here. I'm camping with my family this weekend. I know each other, but we used to come here when I was younger, and so it's always really nice to be able to visit this kind of, a family location. And so this is our cabin. That's
cool.
Lovely. There's Benji over there.
Nice.
So we have some paddle boats over there. So, yeah, pointing at you. So, yeah. So I'm going to sit down and then
spend the night there. You're going to spend the night there?
Yeah.
You're going to spend the night?
Here's back.
Party at my house.
Inside? I can take you inside.
Sure.
Welcome to my house. What else?
You guys are camping out there with the family tonight. So, are you there all weekend or just tonight?
Yep. Just tonight. Just tonight.
So, but Michael will be home, so don't get any thoughts that
Right.
Okay. I have time to schedule the party.
This is really nice. So, Michael, in case you can't get over here, I don't know. I think it might be closed by now. But we have double bunk beds right there. And
that totally looks like a good fit, Michael.
Kitchen, but it's still a kitchen as a table.
Nice. You are roboting very badly. Oh, Oh yeah. I think he probably need to go back outside.
Or quit holding a magnet to your phone.
We can't. Yeah. And
there she goes.
There she goes.
And for those of you that may notice, Rob has given his blood for our store.
Yes. Yeah, I was just gonna say something. If you notice, there's a nice little purple spot on my forehead.
Combat wounded.
I was Michael hit me with a sign. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, well.
That's what I'm sticking with. Michael beat me with a sign earlier.
Well, I was
oh, here we go. Tony's back. She was, you really went away when you went back when you went inside. It was like it got really bad and then you dropped. So
Yep. It's all right.
So if you told us anything important in the past couple of minutes.
Michael, we got your sign down. We got your sign down off the front of the store. I may or may not have taken it in the head, but we got it down.
Is that paint or a wound?
Oh no!
Oh no, that's a gash.
That is. Oh,
I'm pretty sure you didn't say
it didn't even break the skin. It's a bruise.
Yeah, it's just a bruise. It's not bad. It's like a scuff mark. I got scuffed.
An abrasion.
Yeah, it's an abrasion.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're
fine.
okay.
I am fine.
Whatever. Feel bad. What happened? You drop it?
He cried less for Benji skin knee.
Yep. Yeah, it's like a skin knee only on my forehead.
Yeah, right. Because that's fine.
Okay, so you know the one right above the front doors, the brown one. We were taking that down so I could put something else on it. Yeah. And you know how it's just like a big wavy, big old flopping fish as we pull it out of the slide. He's getting none of this.
Yeah, no, it was completely a floppy fish, and it floppy fished right into my head.
A 12-foot long floppy fish.
Oh yeah, no, it was
Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Hi, welcome back.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hey, hello. It is world famous actor.
World famous actor, Mom.
I was in Big Miracle.
She was in Big Miracle. That's true. She was in a movie with Drew Barrymore and Ted Danson.
Ooh, that's right. Yes.
Oh, and John Krasinski. Yeah. My family is a pretty big deal.
Plus, I have the literary agent.
Yeah, we haven't heard back yet.
No.
I just crushed your little dreams in that.
I mean, that was the first.
All right, boys. I think I should probably log off because you keep losing me.
That's okay. Here, I was going to show you this real quick, though. If you can see this. Hang on.
Let's see.
I got a new self-portrait.
Nice.
Okay, so this is the sign right here.
Okay,
And then there's Michael before this is after he threw the sign at my head. And then that's the sign.
What is this?
You see, it's like a 12-foot long board. What's that?
Is this like for insurance purposes?
No, I wanted it to just get a. Yeah, it's for insurance purposes because my scraped head is worth, all that.
It looks great.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's definitely it's got some character there now. Have some character. All right, so you go have fun with the family.
Okay. I can't find me. Okay, there we are. Bye, honey. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Camp well.
Have fun.
Love you.
Bye. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, boys.
Bye.
Don't talk about anything I wouldn't talk about.
Right.
Bye.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, now that she's gone, we That was perfect timing. That was perfect timing. I don't know.
Holiday weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get there.
Well, okay. So what's in the news?
I don't know. You were going to tell us a story first. Nautical Michael. Oh, I see you've changed it a little bit there.
Yeah, because it's abbreviated with a K. Why not spell it with a K?
Actually, we could do this way too. Nautical.
I don't think that's probably the British way.
Or the shoestring way.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just a nautical mile. No, it's not with a K, is it?
No, it's with an N.
It's NM, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we'll go with that. We'll capitalize it though.
That's what yeah. I'm getting there. All right. There we go.
Well, so it's been question been coming up lately, and a lot of people have been wondering and asking me, how is it we came up with the term destroyer for a certain type of naval warship?
Okay.
But no one's asked me that. But
all right.
Well, the destroyer came about because of submarines, and they were originally classified as submarine destroyer. Submarines, albeit they were combatant ships, obviously, they weren't really going after other combatants. They were normally going after commerce and cargo ships and whatnot, freighters. That's how you win the war, just by, starving the other country so they can't get their supplies and war materials. And so they started escorting them with submarine destroyers. And after a while, it was a little too wordy for most navies, so we just abbreviated or dropped the submarine, and the type of ship is now a destroyer. Modern navies have destroyers. U.S. Navy has guided missile destroyers, which is a destroyer that carries guided missiles. Self-explanatory, but not to everyone.
So are the guided missile destroyers have a different mission than still hunting submarines, or?
Yeah, it's a multifaceted mission. They're multi-role because the guided missiles, they can be for, say, anti-air, anti-ship, could be land attack.
Okay.
And they also carry ASROC, which is an anti-submarine rocket.
Okay.
Imagine a torpedo with a rocket on it.
Wow. And we still do have submarine destroyers as well.
Well,
right?
a destroyer is a submarine destroyer, because even a guided missile cruiser has an anti-sub suite on it.
Okay. But are there destroyers that are specifically just for hunting submarines?
Not in our Navy.
Not in our Navy. Okay.
Yeah. They're multi-role. They can travel independently, or they can travel as part of a battle group, or a smaller contingent of just 2 or 3 ships.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the USS Buckley has an interesting story behind it.
And that was classified as a DE, whereas a modern destroyer would be a DD. But a DE is destroyer escort, because it escorted the convoys. And it was basically the convoy's muscle when a U-boat or something else was there trying to sink or destroy the convoy.
Gotcha.
And one day back in 1940, up and get some numbers right. I want to say, so I will.
That we were in the 40s. Buckley, we were in the 1940s,
right, that's for sure.
Yes.
May 44. Previously, before the big story, they had sunk another submarine, and this submarine was the bunker ship, which was there to refuel, to meet up and refuel and replenish the U-boat that's actually on war patrol. This particular U-boat, U-66, had been on patrol since January of this year. It's now May. This crew is pretty much at wit's end. And since they're looking for the ship to bunker with and get more supplies, such as fuel, of course, and then war supplies, torpedoes, munitions, mines, maybe, they also need fuel.
So they've been out for 6 months without a stop, basically.
Well, they've been out of home port for 6 months. They've stopped here and there somewhere.
Right. Yeah. No, I gotcha. Yeah.
But given that they're looking to resupply now, it's because they're empty or they're running on empty.
Yep.
But what they're not aware of, the ship that they were looking to meet up with on a full moon, moonlit seas on a calm night, they're looking for, their ally, their ship to get supplies from. They don't know that it was sunk a couple days ago.
Ah.
But an airplane doing a reconnaissance mission spots the sub on the surface and radios over to the battle group, letting them know, hey, I've got a submarine in this location. And the Buckley's the closest one, and she just starts going flank that area.
Gotcha.
Which flank for a ship like that back then was probably 22 knots, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's faster than I can run.
Yep.
Especially in the water.
And then we can see this. This is a cool picture of was during the trials, speed trials, right?
Sea trials.
Sea trials.
When a ship's put to sea, they give her a couple tests. They put her through, making sure she's seaworthy and whatnot. And this was a high-speed turn at full speed, about 20 knots or so. And just to let you know the dime these things can turn on, this oval, this circle, is estimated to be about 1,000 feet
in diameter.
Yep.
Which for a ship is a pretty good turning radius.
Yeah. So
my plow truck's got a little better turning radius, but
yeah.
But it's not a big ship. It's not a big ship at sea. Correct.
Yeah.
Well, just a little aside, when we taught agility, so we taught dog agility back in the day, and we had some dogs like ours, which are Australian Shepherds, which are quick and very agile, and then Border Collie, quick and agile. But then we had some folks that had big dogs like German Shepherds or Saint Bernard, right? And we used the analogy of a carrier versus a speedboat, right? Like our dogs were speedboats, where a German Shepherd is like a battleship. You're not going to turn the Great Danes too. You're not going to turn a battleship that quick. So when you're running agility with a dog that's really big, you have to think ahead. So anyway, kind of the same thing, the turning radius is not as big. So.
Second side note, turning radius, you're correct, but aircraft carriers haul ass.
Ah, gotcha.
They can outrun the battle fleet.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Buckley, this plane spots the
Buckley's
U-66.
on his way in. Remember,
Buckley's on his way in. Okay.
It's the middle of the night, full moon, so you could see.
Yep.
And the sub U-66 spots a ship on their horizon, pretty much getting bigger, which means it's coming right at you. And they send up their signal flares, like 3 flares of a certain color. And then if I am your ally coming to give you your supplies, I'm supposed to send up my flares, different number of them or different color pattern. And that's the handshake. So we know you're cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Buckley doesn't know the handshake, so she doesn't send up any flares at all, but she's still coming right at her.
Yep.
It takes a bit or two of Germans going, oh, I don't think so. And then they realize that is not the ship they're hoping for. And this one's probably got hostile intent. They go to start making maneuvers, and now it's a cat and mouse game at sea. And either one of these two could be the cat.
Right.
One thing about destroyers are also referred to by those that sail on them as tin cans. A tin can sailor is a destroyer sailor because that's about how much armor protection they have.
So they're not going to be very.
Yeah,
you're not going to repel a bunch of.
You sacrifice a lot of weight to make them faster.
Yeah, right. Oh,
and
I'm sure
a lot of that weight's in the armor plating. So the subs, they're almost out of torpedoes to start the day, and they fire off one, and it's kind of hard to see when it's coming right at you because it's making a trail in the water. And if you're high up above, you see it. If you're lower to the water line, like most destroyers or small boys are, you may not see it right away, but they do, and they're able to duck it. These are straight running torpedoes, so you really just got to get out of its way.
Right.
But you usually see them so late, you don't have time, or your ship moves that slow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the two ships are really just playing ring around the rosy, trying to get one close enough for their guns to work on the other, and then subs trying to get, the bow pointed the right way to fire their last torpedo. So I can't remember which one opened up first, but it's really irrelevant. The Buckley had the range.
Yep.
And she was able to start putting bullets on foreheads, just as you can. She used several different guns, 3-inch, 5-inch, 40 millimeter, 20 millimeter. And they're just giving her what for. The submarine, everyone knows back then they had one deck cannon and then some smaller guns they could pull out and mount. There might as well be handheld firearms.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying, but their range is off, and their their rounds are normally just mostly going over the ship. They don't have like a gunnery radar or anything, and probably didn't have too many tracers to be able to, feed your fire to your target. So they're really ineffective. And they're getting closer. They're getting closer. They actually get within 20 yards, maybe. And the captain decides, rammer.
The captain of the Buckley.
Buckley. Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, she's actually inside the effective gun range for the Buckley as well at this point.
Right.
So an old naval tactic from days of yore is ramming speed. And she ends up not only ramming her, but just for the conning tower going up and on board.
My gosh. So now the Buckley is sitting on top of the U-boat.
Right. It's almost like an icebreaker on the ice,
Right.
And at this point, the captain of the sub has actually already ordered abandoned ship. This is before the collision, but, like a minute before he calls it.
Right.
So German sailors are coming up on top, only to find out, holy hell, there's a warship right there. But what do you do? Well, they start climbing on board the warship because there's not land or anything to go to instead.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't want to go too much into the water if you don't have to. And the captain of the Buckley calls out to his crew something that hadn't been said on a warship since before ironclads. Prepare to repel boarders.
Like, people are going to try to come on board.
Are climbing on board the ship, and we have to stop them. Like swashbucklers,
So they start opening fire with all small arms and everything.
And a few of them have small arms out because they're in combat. Chances are they're at battle stations, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But sailors on a warship don't really have small arms.
Not really armed. Yeah, no, you're right. There you go.
They have the ship. That's your arms.
Yep. So I did find this video, and I like this part of the video too. So they're talking about hand-to-hand combat here. Let me actually.
Basically a melee.
Yeah. Let me reshare that just so we make sure we got the audio too. So yeah, it's basically down to melee time. Let's share this. So what were they getting out?
Using small arms. Sitting atop the submarine, the Buckley could not bring her 3-inch guns to bear, and the crew was repelling boarders with whatever weapons they had at hand in a fight that would have been more fitting in the previous century. The Buckley's crew defended themselves as they could, including throwing several mess coffee cups, which were on hand at a ready gun station. Able reported that 2 of the enemy were hit in the head with these. The crew were also throwing the heavy brass.
So they're throwing coffee cups
from the 3-inch guns.
So the 3-inch guns unload their shell casings. So they're throwing shell casings at them.
Yeah, after they fired the rounds from the gun.
Yeah.
The big old tube shell just falls to the deck. They're everywhere.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like the brass from, when you go out, fire off your 9mm, it kicks the brass out. You're throwing just very large brass.
But yeah, they're, probably, 3 feet long at least.
Right. Okay, so they're sitting on top. They're repelling boarders. What happens next?
Where the captain orders the Buckley back, and she scrapes off, and basically the 2 ships free themselves. There's already Germans on board the Buckley.
Okay.
And they have to decide to, jump back onto their ship or surrender or keep up the fight or whatever. Several on the bow do actually surrender kind of right away, realizing the score.
Mm-hmm.
And a gunner's mate orders them down below as prisoners, and he's actually only armed with a hammer.
Oh my goodness.
Which would not tickle.
Right.
And then a few more jump into the drink or try and jump onto their sub. They actually do make it. And the subs now, they're separating, except that's still an enemy warship. So the captain of the Buckley is not just going to let it go away.
Right.
They're having to try and go at it some more. It ends up with, there's fires on the sub too. But one of the crew members on the Buckley, this kid must have been like all-state in baseball or something, because he's got a hand grenade and he lobs it straight in and sinks it in the conning tower in the open hatch.
Wow.
It's probably what it sounded like.
Right. So basketball, baseball, whatever.
Whatever it was.
He put that thing right in the hole.
And the submarine is still underway, but it's assumed that it's not under power or under control.
Right.
But it does eventually sink beneath the waves. And this had to be the most awesome after action report any captain in the Navy's filled out. Right here. And turns out this whole racket, from basically first round fired to that sub's gone, was about 16 minutes.
Yep. That's what it says. 16 minutes this fight lasted. That is a whole lot of action to pipe into 16 minutes.
Yeah.
So it says here, this is from the National World War II Museum.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. The U-66 also rammed the Buckley in this skirmish and twisted the after end, broke off the starboard screw.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's all said and done, the Buckley is still able to maintain seaworthiness and limp home to New York for repairs.
Wow. So it says here that after the ship had sunk, Buckley stayed in the area for 3 hours and plucking survivors out of the sea. 36 of the U-boat's crew were saved. So that's more than half of her sailors. Most were wounded with shrapnel or worse. Buckley's bow was bent to port from ramming U-66. She had a few holes from the U-boat's guns. In the 16-minute engagement with U-66, she had expended 105 rounds of 3-inch shells, 2,700 rounds of 20-millimeter ammunition, and 418 rounds of 40-millimeter shells, and 390 rounds of 45 and 30 caliber. So that's a lot of ammo to expend in 16 minutes. That's
safe to say they lightened the ship.
Fire, 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 fire.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it takes to get a hot gun out of those 3-inch guns.
So yeah, Kat, my grandmother's brother was on a sub. Yeah, no, that's probably one of the most, especially later in the war, that's probably got to be one of the most dangerous missions that you would have, right?
Well, in World War II, the Kriegsmarine, 40,000 Germans went to sea on the U-boats.
Wow.
10,000 of them came home after the war.
Wow. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah. 3/4 of those that deployed on U-boats are still on patrol.
Crazy.
We want to talk crazy. In Sydney, Australia, there is a former Soviet whiskey class diesel submarine as a floating museum. Me and a couple of buddies took this tour when we were in Port Sydney, and just leaving it after we were done, or just saying to ourselves, I don't know if I respect those sailors more for putting to sea in these things, or I'm convinced they're just absolutely bonkers. No, I would no.
Right. Nope. The last part of this video here shows
either of the U-66 torpedoes struck home. The Buckley had lost its starboard screw,
the Buckley
with the shaft
right
sheared
there.
Off. They had a 5-inch hole breach in the engine room, 2 feet above the waterline.
See how bent that thing is from there?
The ship required nearly a month in dry dock for repairs.
1 month.
That is crazy. A month. They fixed it all in a month. That's even wilder that they could get that all done in 1 month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think the Battle of Midway, Yorktown needed like 9 months of yards work to get her operational for the Battle of Midway.
Right.
And they did it in 3 days.
What?
Yeah, the yard facilities just worked round the clock, and the crew worked round the clock, doing everything they could to get this ship not, 100%, mind you.
Well, yeah.
But to get her to where she could still launch and recover aircraft and make good time getting to the area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did that take place? Was that in Hawaii or was that?
Yeah, it would have been Pearl. It's the only place with facilities at the time.
Gotcha.
And then she had to make it to Midway with the other two carriers.
Mm-hmm.
We also did lose Yorktown, but
yeah,
so she wasn't, like I said, she wasn't brought up to snuff, but ate it.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty crazy naval battle there. Sure.
Man,
okay,
I could just imagine, Captain or XO so and so just telling his stories at the bar after the war. And then I got my sword out and swung over on a high line to the other ship,
right,
embellishing as you go.
So all right, I have to tell this story again because my wife did not hear the story the first time. So give me 1 second. I screwed that up. Grab this. So, okay. Again, one more time. So this is the empty sign holder on the top of the store
that we tried installing on your head.
There's Michael. And then there is the board that came out of the sign holder that also decided to try and go into my head. Well, it just kind of scraped by my head.
And I don't think board is really an accurate description. It's a big
like
old floppy thing of plexiglass.
It's a plexiglass plate that is now painted brown, which will then again be repainted and have Rethink Home put on it. Correct? That's what we're doing, yes. Right? That's what you're going to do is repaint this and put Rethink Home and the logo and everything on there.
I doubt I'll repaint it.
Oh,
I'll just do a contrasting color over the top of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a different color would look nice. But what are the other ones up there?
Yeah. What colors do I have? You have to consider that as well.
Can get you something else. Yeah. You should put that in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did tell me to be, well, I was careful. It only scraped it. See, it's not like it's, that was all. It was not very manageable trying to get, I was trying to use a broom to get the damn thing down, and the broom worked.
If you were there,
you'd understand. Out of there, but it just kind of, it kind of fell. And my head was just like right there. And so it just kind of scraped across my head. And then I'm like, am I bleeding? And Michael's like, no, you're fine. Well, there is a little red mark. I'm like, damn. So it'll be a little bit of a bruise. Could have been a black eye, but it's not. So good there. Very good there. So what else is going on? So we had the Buckley versus the U-66, and we've also got Elon Musk versus Brazil. So I don't know if you heard about this, but Brazil is, has a, I could have taken your eye out. You shoot your eye out, kid. I didn't shoot my eye out, so that's good. I mean, it just scraped my head was all. It was, I mean, there's no real sharp corner on it, but it happens. I did get a message from my work on my phone a little bit ago that somebody was basically unloading some stuff and they're lost all their toes. So stuff just is dangerous, right? Even when you take the best precautions, sometimes stuff happens, but it's planning for all those things. So anyway, Elon Musk and Brazil is basically under control by President Luna, and then there is this crazy Supreme Court justice who is basically running the two of them run Brazil. They make all the rules, and so Brazil has banned X. He threatened to basically arrest all of the people from X here, and I'm not showing it. There we go. So this dude right here, and his name is, let me find his name. So basically, because they threatened to arrest all of the people who worked for X unless X suppressed the information that they wanted. They want absolutely no, you can't say anything bad about any of the government of Brazil. So basically they want the names of people who do that. They want them to shut all that down. And then basically and X said, no, we're not going to do that. And so yeah. And so Elon closed shop, got his people out of there. And they went as far as yesterday as to, and it seems like they backed off of this, but they were going to try and hold Starlink responsible and fine Starlink if X didn't pay the fines or whatever. So you can see here's the problem is Brazil's military relies on Starlink for its operations. So Brazil, this Supreme Court justice froze the bank accounts of Starlink, satellite internet company. And then they have actually shut off X. And they said, if you use X at all in Brazil, then it's a $9,000 a day fine. And it's Supreme Court Justice Alexandra de Moraes. And he has an X account right here. It is this guy right there. He looks like an evil mastermind, doesn't he? You still there?
I'm here, but I'm not the evil mastermind. He definitely looks like a villain. But,
well, that's what I mean. A villain. He looks like a villainy. Yeah. No, absolutely. Here, let me find this one picture of him. That's even more crazy.
He's certainly not Lex Luthor.
No, probably not. Oh, there's a good one right there. How about that one right there?
I still think he needs a mustache to twirl.
Yeah, probably. And what's funny too is Michael Schellenberger, who is a independent reporter, who you should follow. He's a very, very, very good follow. Has pointed out that a lot of our local media just kind of like
nothing to see here.
Yeah.
No story.
Like, I love how he phrases it. Few things are more sickening than journalists first demanding and then celebrating the totalitarian persecution of their enemies. Because Elon Musk is the enemy now of left-wing media. But we shouldn't be surprised. Their careers as bootlicking cucks depend on the government banning their competitors who expose their lies, right? So, the New York Times, Brazil blocks act after Musk ignores court orders. Like that is a legitimate court order that, you have to, and I'm sure Google and Facebook are still fine and WhatsApp are still fine on there because they let the government into their system. They give the government exactly what they want, and X won't do that. And then same thing, AP, top Brazilian judge orders suspension of X platform in Brazil amid feud with Musk. Nothing like, this totalitarian government has decided that, there can be no dissension whatsoever from any of our.
Clearly, their courts aren't separate and equal from their executive in their country.
No. No. So, and obviously, there is no such thing as free speech in Brazil. And so, I mean, you've got the stuff that's going on in UK where they're locking up people for social media posts. That's something we haven't really got into
anymore.
No, they arrested a teacher today because he would not. He's a Christian, and he's like, basically, I don't know if it was not using pronouns or if it was just he just would not, conform to the kids changing their genders. All right. He just said, I don't want to do that. And so not only did they not, if that's something you're going to do in school, that's one thing, but they actually, police showed up at his house and arrested him. Just absolutely insane that somebody could get arrested for that.
How did he get here?
I don't know. And so, and if, this could very well get here. This whole thing in Brazil with X being cut off. They're cut off. You cannot use it now. It's cut off from the state. The recent election, of course, the CIA had a big hand in selecting the voting machines that went down to Brazil. So, they had a nice big hand. So this report here that the U.S. State Department called in massive favors and leveraged personal connections to build voting machines for Lula-aligned Brazil officials. And then the CIA warned Bolsonaro not to mess with or cast doubt at all on the new U.S. secured voting machines determining his election. So, it's not like the CIA has not had their hands in multiple elections throughout, I don't know, the entire history of the CIA.
Right, yeah,
come on. And we hear all about foreign interference in our elections.
And didn't they learn it from us?
Yeah. What do we do? So, yeah. So, the stuff that's going down in Brazil, you might think, okay, well, it's just Brazil. It's what's the big deal?
No one really cares about South America anyway.
Right. But when this is your mainstream media here, when this is our U.S. media just saying, oh, that's wonderful. And then others that are on people on X that are ratting out people that are in Brazil saying, oh, this person's in Brazil and they're still tweeting. It's like, how far away is it? That's the freedom of speech is the whole reason I started this whole thing. And if we lose that, then we lose pretty much everything else. It's just the way it is. If we're not free to speak, then That's why it's the First Amendment to the Constitution, which just happens to be right here over my shoulder, by the way.
Although you can't read it in that font.
Well, no, you can't read it in this font, but it is right here. Right here is the Constitution.
Yeah, and they say it's English that thing's written in, but not if you get real close and read it.
And if you go back to the very beginning of our channel, you can go through the entire Constitution. I have every article, every amendment. We read the entire thing in the very beginning of this channel. So
we didn't explain any of it. We just read it word for word.
No, well, we did. We talked a little bit about it too.
I'm kidding.
I know. But we did really just read it. I mean, I did just read through it, and then I kind of looked up some stuff and talked about it a little bit. But I did just people
like the 7th Amendment. Why only $20? And why have they not updated that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much was $20 back then? I'll bet that was significant.
Oh yeah, no, that was a king's ransom.
Yeah. Versus now you're suing someone for $20. You'd be lucky as hell. You get a jury to listen to it.
Yeah.
Your court filing fees more than that.
Yeah. So I ran across this today too. This is kind of a weird one. Let me reshare so we make sure we have video. So last night in Chicago,
7 people killed overnight.
Well, I don't know how many there were, but there wasn't anybody killed at this, but there was a rap video being shot from a rapper called THF Lil Law. And THF Lil Law filming his video in Chicago. So we've got all the makings of a rap video. We've got stacks here. We've got a blunt here, right? We got hats and we got colors. So here he is. He's going through the motions. He's being filmed. So he's smoking, and then all of a sudden,
they're all reaching for their gear too.
Oh yes, they all reach. Oh, absolutely, like almost immediately. That's real. The rest of this is real. That gets real quick. And of course, everybody's reaching for their waist right there. You can see it right there. Now, listen to this shit, dude. This is where it gets crazy.
You know, it looks like good trigger discipline by this one guy in the center.
From reports that I read, I dug into this earlier, nobody got hit.
Well, when you're shooting into the air,
nobody got shot. But listen to this. And then finally, just for good measure,
no one struck.
Nobody hit. Nobody shot, if you believe that. I mean, but holy hell, dude. That's got to be 100 at least rounds, if not more.
Oh, that's well more than 100
rounds. I mean,
So everyone in there did not hear their alarm clock this morning,
right? Oh no, because there was no.
They're still ringing.
There was no hearing protection going on. So
sound bouncing off that.
Yeah, so you got. I mean, tech wise, they got pretty good lighting, right? I like their use of shadows here. And you know, you got the guy in the background making some gang signs with his hands. Kinda, I guess. There he was, right there. That's some. I would think that would be some gang signs. And they you know, so they got these guys back in the shadows. They got good lighting, and then it all goes to crap right about here. Oh my God!
You know, this is.
Yes.
One of the advantages I think that police have, you know, in a counter gang unit or what have you, it is the police. We can assume that that they qualified to use or carry and use. They probably train with their firearms.
Right. Yes.
Which
no, they definitely
Johnny Gangbanger probably practices it all.
No. I mean, but I hear automatic. I hear
I heard that too.
In there too.
Well, it sounded slow. I think it was more like a bump stock. It didn't actually sound like.
Well, no, but it sounds
kind of more pop, 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 pop.
No, listen again.
Well,
because
yeah, it doesn't sound automatic.
There's like a 3-round burst or something going on there. There's one gun in here that sounds like they've got it either filed down so it'll fire automatic. Right there.
Tech 9.
Right there. You hear it in the background?
Yeah, it's got to be a Tech 9. Maybe MP5.
Right there, too. Right there. There was a quick 3-round burst. Although it could just be it could be multiple guns firing at the same time or right within each other, right? It could be rapid fire from people
from different sources,
like multiple people rapid firing, and so it sounds that way too. So then a lull. I love this. That one right there.
Yeah, that wasn't automatic.
What was it? Was it it's got to be Beverly Hills Cop. Do you remember the original Beverly Hills Cop?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, so Axel Foley and Judd Nelson. I don't remember what Judd Nelson's character was, but they get that big gun battle at the end, right? And everybody's ripping off automatic fire or whatever, and Judd Nelson pops up and just goes pop with his little revolver. That was always funny. I always laughed at that. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
Well,
did you forget? Did I derail your thing?
Well, no, it's so any info on who was firing at what? Like, because I mean, a whole bunch of that seemed retaliatory.
Yeah. So digging into it, let me see if I can.
You know, another tactic they use is just like intimidation just with sound, and they'll have either in their sound system in a recording they're playing sounds like gunfire, or some idiot with a starter pistol.
Right.
We saw this outside Coots after close, which I was like, what are you getting out of doing this? Right. You know, it's like, if they don't know it's you, then they don't know to be afraid of you.
Yeah.
I remember one idiot, we saw him driving by, and of course, you hear the gunshot, so you duck, of course, but I was like looking at him, and he had the thing right here by his head. Yeah. And so he's not only firing inside the car, he's firing into the roof of his car.
Yeah. So there were a couple. So
no, that's not a gun.
So that's just the thing. There were a couple of. Maybe this one said something.
It was a starter
Welcome
pistol.
Back to Ghetto DVD, please hit the like button.
So this was there was one of these videos I saw where they did mention something.
Area.
What says 5 shot? Suspect in custody.
Breaking news out of Chicago. THF Lil Law, a well-known drill rapper from the 44th and 46th area, is at the center of a violent shooting incident. During
So
a video,
this one said 5 people shot, but then other reports have said there were none.
Leaving
There were
5 people shot.
Nobody
Authorities
else
quickly
hit.
responded, and the scene was nothing short of chaotic. Law enforcement confirms that one suspect is currently in custody, though details remain scarce. THF Lil Law, known for his presence in Chicago's drill scene, has made headlines before, but this time it's for a violent confrontation that shook the community. Investigations are underway, and police are still piecing together what led to the violence. With 5 people shot and the neighborhood on high alert, the city once again finds itself grappling with the consequences of street violence. Stay tuned into Ghetto DVD as more information unfolds in this developing story involving.
Said once again.
Yep.
Like some sort of break in the.
Yeah, exactly.
Status quo.
Yeah.
Rapper THF Lil Law gets in shootout in Chicago while shooting a music video with the members. Now, he on somebody's block. I'm not too sure if it's his block or somebody else's block, but he seemed comfortable. You know, it's a whole bunch of them out there, they smoking, vibing, shooting a music video, you know, and out of nowhere you hear 2 to 3 shots. And then that's when you see that 3-second clip at the beginning of the video. Now, don't quote me on this, I'm not 100% sure, but you could probably find the full video or more clip of the video on Reddit. And if you go check his YouTube channel out, he been dropping music consistently all year, you know, even before Twin passed away.
Yeah, so something I saw earlier did say that he was basically in some beef with like one of the people that's like big in this scene that is in jail. So it's, yeah, so I mean it's basically he was, you know, it's gang stuff, what it is. Just
Sounds like Illinois needs to make not firearms, because they have no problem getting the firearms, obviously, but make the bullets really expensive.
Yeah.
You know, if it gets costly to use one of these things, you're going to be reluctant about, you know, the spray and pray firearm mentality.
I mean, that just hurts regular people more than it hurts the criminals. It will, because, you know, there's no
breaking your house to get the money to pay for the
well, yeah, no, exactly. Absolutely. Well, hey, so got any? So you guys are open for the holiday weekend, right? So
yeah, come on down, get some furniture.
Yeah, the only other story I had was this Colorado thing I was showing you earlier, where
that's just I'm still just
there's an entire gang of Venezuelan migrants that have taken over a
seen at several of these complexes now. They've spray painted Venezuela all over the buildings.
So there's basically 2 apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado that have been completely taken over by gangs.
There are broken windows. There are
show you the other
everywhere.
Basically kicked all the residents out.
Grim scene at these apartment complexes. And you know what you see at any given time is men, and I've really only seen men.
This is one of the council members for Aurora
walking around with guns. They are actively patrolling these properties. They have completely taken them over. They have beaten up any staff that was on site of these complexes. They have beaten them up. So there is no staff. It is absolutely these gang members controlling these apartment complexes. And, you know, yesterday I made sure to go in with several police officers helping and watching. But I'll tell you what, before I even had this family completely moved out of their apartment, these folks were already fighting over this apartment complex, and they were starting to move stuff in before we had even completely moved this family out.
So this is the apartment complex. It's happening. Anybody telling you that it's not happening, it's happening. Hi, Patty. Welcome. I mean, that.
What do they have for law enforcement in Aurora? Barney Fife?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you get it. This is the United States. This is not in Venezuela. This is in the United States. This is in the United States. They've removed families from this apartment complex, completely taken it over. Excuse me, moved in other people. And I mean, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. This is I don't.
This is the result of, I hate throwing everything to politics, but the vote blue no matter who crowd. And you end up with, an administration that just lets everyone in. And it's not just the people that are coming, it's the governments of these countries that are emptying their prisons to send those want-nots and ne'er-do-wells here because they're out of their hair. Makes all sense.
And I mean, it's they're not run the same way.
Right.
We hear all about the corruption in all of these countries, even in Mexico, even in Central America and South America, all of the corruption that exists, the cartels in Mexico. I have good friends that live in Mexico. One of my very best friends in the entire world lives in Mexico. And he lives in a pretty quiet place normally in Mexico. And up till about 5-6 years ago, I asked him, what's it like there? What's going on? And he said the cartels and stuff is far away from him. But within the last 5 years, it's gotten to where he's at, and they're finding people dead where he's at. There's times and people that you just know that you don't associate with, you don't look at them cross. It is there. So it is everywhere. And now it's coming here. It's here. It's absolutely, we've just let the borders open and people have just flooded in, and then we've just moved them to wherever. It's insanity what we've done. And I don't know how we I don't know. So
I don't know how one of those Venezuelan guys haven't gotten shot trying to kick someone out of their apartment.
Right. Exactly. So this.
All right.
Now this is a little more. This is a little more street here. So
forgive me. I'm pulling in right now. I'm just so upset about this whole thing right now. So, yes, it's true. If you've been seeing about the stuff in Aurora, Colorado, about the Venezuelan gangs taking over two apartment complexes, yes, it's very true. I happened to drive to Aurora today for business. Not even fucking, what time is it? Yeah, not even 3 hours ago I was in Aurora. All right? And I was right in there where that shit happening. Let me tell you, man, holy shit. Let me tell you right now that this shit's no fucking joke. All right? These motherfuckers is really out here with fucking AKs, fucking guarding an apartment complex that does not belong to them. Okay? This is the Venezuelan gangs that came up here. I can't remember what the fuck their name is, but yeah, that's real. Like, the shit's getting dire. All right? I'm out here right now. Aurora, Colorado. I'm in Lakewood, Colorado, bro. All right? I'm on the opposite side of the metro area, man, but I go all the way over there for my videography. I go over there for recording shit. I go over there for all types of shit. I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm just heated about this. It's just really bad that, like, people really don't think this is happening, bro. This Venezuelan prison gang took over 2 apartment complexes in my fucking state, man. And, like, yes, it's real. It's getting real. That's why I stay with what I got. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have something like that and this shit happening, you gotta beware. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
People see what you
I
have.
agree. I 100% agree with that.
People see what you have when you don't look, and man, and be prepared for that shit to get taken. I mean, that might be fear mongering, or whatever the fuck Kamala Harris want to say, but it's fear mongering. No, it's fucking not. This is reality right here. This is like 10 toes down in the state. So if you're wondering what's happening with Colorado, that's what's happening, all right? This ain't no fear mongering. There are people being charged rent out in this apartment complex, bro. They called the FBI. They said they could do nothing about it. They called the state. Colorado PD, all of them, dude. No, they can't do nothing about it. Oh, and they also called the marshals, from what I hear. Nothing they can do about it, apparently. Nothing you can do about immigrants taking over an apartment complex by force? What? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Yeah, no,
I get it. It doesn't make any sense. It absolutely does not make sense. What in the hell is going on?
What the hell is law enforcement mandated to do? Erase?
So they are mandated to make sure that the things that we post on social media are the truth, and there's no misinformation on there, right? And they're to make sure that we don't post things that are, anti-immigrant. So yeah, they're and they are. Yeah, I'm not gonna rehash the damn stream I had last night. That was a rough one. Oof.
Yeah.
Cops are right now are not the, they got to be able to do something about this, dude. They have to be able to do something about this, because this can't.
If the mayor doesn't have the muscle and the governor doesn't have the muscle, you would think Homeland Security, although ignoring who's in charge of it these days, would have the muscle. But then maybe they don't have the balls, or they don't have the desire.
No, they don't. Then they would have to admit that they're wrong.
They're only sending us the rocket scientists and heart surgeons.
Correct.
They're not sending us their
right. They would have to admit that we have an issue. For 3 years at least, they didn't even recognize we had an issue. They didn't even cover the border. Most mainstream media places didn't cover the border. They didn't cover what was happening at the border. They didn't cover the thousands of people that ran away from border guards. They didn't cover even, the tens of thousands of people that were coming in here. And then finally, the only time they would cover it would be when Abbott or DeSantis or something would ship a busload of people to Martha's Vineyard, right? Then it got coverage. It got coverage when, Abbott sent buses to Kamala Harris's VP house in Washington, D.C., right? When busloads of immigrants showed up there, or in Chicago, or in New York, right? And then they had to start covering it when New York got so many of them that they had to take over entire luxury hotels, right? That have been destroyed now. But yeah, we were told that there was no issue. We've been told that it's fine. We've been told that, these people are just seeking a better life.
Yeah.
So in order,
but they're bringing the crap with them. They're bringing the crap life with them.
Right. And a majority of the people that you're seeing crossing are not families. They're not families with young children. They are 20 to 45-year-old males. A majority of them are fighting age males. Shit. There's been 100,000+ male Chinese people come through the border. Chinese folks. Young male Chinese people by the tens to upwards of like 130,000 males is that's a fighting force, right? That's like a brigade. It's like an entire freaking brigade of people that have just, hey, come on in. We don't, we'll get you a court date in 5 years. Until then, make yourself at home. It's fucking insane.
Where do they think they're all
can't
going
hear
to
you.
live?
I can't hear you.
Where do they think they're all going to live?
I know exactly. We've got,
but that's not their problem.
No, it's not. Not until it starts affecting
not until they're in your backyard,
right? Yeah, exactly. Then it'll be. Now it's it's starting to be an issue.
Yeah, Mayor of New York, Eric Adams, thought he had a sanctuary city, taking in, all the needy that come to him until we started giving him the people he was asking for. Oh no, you're going to overrun our systems here.
Right. Got to give us, and then you started yelling for federal funds. You got to send us federal funds. You got to send us federal funds. It's like, but you're a sanctuary city. You wanted this.
You've been very vocal about that. Yeah, tell it to Eagle Pass, Texas.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that place. So crazy. All right, well, hey, we run over, but yes, thank you very much.
Cause.
Oh yeah, was for a good cause. Well, I'm gonna go enjoy my 3-day weekend. Maybe I might come in on Monday. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'll let y'all know.
Yeah, it's our last weekend without NFL football.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I was going to mention too. You guess where one of the first games of the season is taking place at?
Cincinnati.
Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
The Packers are playing the Eagles in Brazil.
I heard the funniest thing about the Packers, not so much as the Packers, is that the Vikings hate the Packers so much they refuse to win the Lombardi Trophy.
Rob, if you're listening, that's for you, buddy. All right. On that note, I'm going to say good night.
Rock and roll.
See you later. Thank you for watching.